Hi friends, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for today's video because we are talking about gyms reopening. And this is not happening everywhere in the world yet, unfortunately, but in the States, gyms are starting to reopen again. We still are being safe, of course. Even a lot of them here have no mask policies if you've been vaccinated. This video is going to be like a refresher, if you will, on the unspoken gym rules, the way to walk into a gym and feel confident AF, feel like a pro, feel like you're comfortable in that environment, working out in front of a bunch of other people, and just feel good and confident in your skin going through your workout routines in public again. It doesn't really matter what age you're at. Nobody's immune from gym anxiety. Everyone experiences it at one point in their life, especially getting started. Just remember, don't make any assumptions about anyone in the gym, no matter their age. Everyone is going through their own journey, and so are you, and just remember that. I will be joining a gym for the first time, like a chain gym, for the first time in 3 or 4 years. So I also haven't been in a public gym, not just because of the pandemic, but for years just because of how my setup has been. So it will also be new for me, and even though I am comfortable in a gym and I feel fine going into one, it's still a change. So I feel you if you're nervous or you have anxiety about working out in front of a bunch of people. So without further ado, let's jump into it. The first thing I'm gonna emphasize is that nobody walks into the gym knowing it all. This is a video of me, I think it was even a few years into lifting. I used the wrong medicine ball and got bopped in the face. And you can see, people saw and asked me if I was okay. I'm gonna show it right here. Yeah, so this is just to show you that I have been where you are today, and everyone has. You have to start somewhere. So remember that you're not gonna walk into the gym knowing everything. It really is gonna take some time to get to know the equipment, to get to know the environment, to get to know your own body. So don't put pressure on yourself to literally know everything. You're gonna make mistakes, and just know that it will be okay. And every single person in the gym is there to better themselves, not to make fun of other people, not to look at other people. They're there to be the best version of themselves, and so are you. Okay, my top tip for going back to the gyms is to pick a gym if you have options. If you're in a metropolitan area where you have a few different options, of course you're picking based on price and lifestyle and whatever, but also pick a gym that fits your style, okay? So for example, there are a few gyms in my neighborhood in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. There is called Grindhouse, I believe. I know the name could use some workshopping, but we'll call it the GH for now. There's the GH. This is like a big basement gym. It has a ton of machines. As far as I can tell, it's a pretty diverse place in terms of there's probably regular gym goers, powerlifters, bodybuilders, probably a good mix, generic general gym. Awesome. Okay, there's athletes there too. Then there are gyms like this new one that opened up near me called Vital, which is a rock climbing gym that also happens to have a fitness center and a bunch of other things. Now, when you go to different gyms, you're gonna find different styles of people training in different ways. Some gyms are really specialized, like this climbing gym is gonna attract a certain type of gym goer, and other gyms are gonna attract other types. You could go to just a CrossFit box, which is a gym, but it's gonna have all CrossFitters, and it could be intimidating. So just keep in mind, when you choose a gym, choose one that fits you, your style, how you're gonna be training. Go for basic if you're just getting started, something that just has everything so that you feel comfortable there. Okay, my next tip is go on Google Maps and just look at the pics of the layout before you show up. This was something I did many, many years ago that really helped ease my anxiety, was just looking at the layout. Okay, where are the weights? Where are the machines? Where's the locker room? Where's the bathroom? So that you can go in there and not have to feel so you're looking around at everything, trying to take it all in. That gives me anxiety, having to absorb a large space while there's people in it and you're doing something new for the first time. So go on Google Maps, do a little tour if you can. There's always tons of pics of the gyms usually that you can just look at and kind of get a feel for where everything is, which leads me to my next tip. Go in with a plan. Go in with a plan, okay? This is very helpful because if you go in without a plan, that's when you get paralyzed and you hesitate and you're afraid to use certain things and you don't know what to use, and then you sit there and then you're like, I'll just leave. Don't do that. Go in with a plan. It doesn't matter if it's the world's simplest plan. Go in knowing what exercises you'll be doing, how you're gonna warm up, how you're gonna cool down. And if you don't know any of this, don't worry. You can download our free guide. It has a free week of workouts specifically for petite women. I'll put the link in the description below. This is gonna give you the exact exercises with HD video tutorials of what to do at the gym that day. So just go in with some kind of plan so that you don't have to stand around paralyzed for a bit. Okay, let's talk about apparel. So for some reason, when I first started at the gym, I found baseball caps to make me feel cooler. I don't know why, I don't do it anymore really, but I don't know if it kind of like narrowed my line of vision, and I'm short, right? You guys know, that's why you're here. This is a channel about petite women and fitness and health and nutrition and whatever. So wearing a baseball cap as a petite, people look down on us, right? Because we are literally shorter than them. They can't really make eye contact with you. It's just like, just block the haters. So I did that for a few years. I don't know if it's every time, but I found that this was a little tip and trick that helped me feel more comfortable, and like I was in my own private gym, was just wearing a baseball cap. Other things to know about the gym: wear clothes that you feel comfortable in, obviously, and go for flat shoes if you're lifting weights. They could be Converses, they could be Nike Metcons. Just try to wear a flat shoe. If you don't have it, a running shoe is fine, but then take your running shoes off for your squats or your deadlifts. You need flat contact with the ground to have a really good power transfer, energy transfer during your exercises when you're lifting, specifically like lower body or compound movements. So this is something that like will make you feel like a pro, and you'll notice like the people who know what they're doing at the gym, the trainers, they're probably in like a training shoe, like a Nike Metcon, something that allows them to lift, and if they need to run, they could also run in it, although you wouldn't really want to run in Nike Metcons long distance, but you could warm up in them, for example. So that's a little pro tip there. Okay, we're getting to my biggest tip here. Do not look around at other people to see if they're looking at you. Okay, this is gonna make you feel uncomfortable. This is gonna make you feel more awkward. When you're in the gym, you don't feel comfortable or any environment, and so you start looking around like, who's looking at me? Like, is anyone seeing me right now? Like, I'm embarrassed. And then you feel more awkward because you just looked around to see if anyone was looking at you, and you probably made eye contact with a few people who are now thinking like, why is she looking at me? And then you get really in your head and it just like spirals from there. Okay, so my voice just cracked. What you should do is just keep your eyes to yourself. Like, stay in your lane, girl. Focus on you. You're there to get better. You don't need to know if anyone's looking at you or not. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And everyone's thinking the same thing. You act confident and nobody's gonna bother you. That's kind of just like the unspoken rule. So working on that, and it will be a work in progress, will help you feel comfortable much sooner. Okay, this one's a kind of funny tip, and it kind of just eases my mind. So as you know, I have been in many gyms. I've been a member of gyms. I've been a trainer in privately owned gyms. I've been an independent trainer. I've worked in studios. I've been in all the gyms, okay? So you can trust me when I say, time and time again, the dude that looks like Thor is the nicest guy in the gym. Like, the strongest, most intimidating, scariest woman or man in the gym is always the nicest, most approachable, kindest person ever. This has been proved. I think it's just science at this point. So next time you feel really intimidated, or you see the person in the gym who's always there, who's like either really scary and intimidating, or just is super hot, or like you're just intimidated for whatever amount of reasons, just remember they're usually the nicest people. Let me know if this is true to your experience as well, if you've ever run into this scenario. Okay, next we're gonna go into some gym lingo as a refresher, or in case you don't know it. If you are in a crowded gym, or a gym that has minimal equipment, and there's someone hogging the stuff, or there's someone who's been there for a while, you don't need to wait until they're done. In fact, a lot of really regular gym goers work with each other through sharing equipment. During COVID, maybe not so much because we're wiping things down, but if you're comfortable with this, the lingo for asking someone if you can use their equipment is to just say, first of all, you can ask them, excuse me, hey, what's up? How many sets do you have left? And if they say like 5, that's a lot. If you need to use that piece of equipment, the next question you can say is, do you mind if I work in with you? So working in with someone means that you're gonna switch off because they're gonna be taking rests and you are too. And while they're resting, you can be using their equipment. Now this can be hard if it's a squat rack and they're lifting significantly more than you and you would have to deload and reload plates every time. I wouldn't use it for that, but for dumbbells, for quick things, for the cable machine where it's just like fast, you can change the weights quickly, ask them if you can work in with them. Or if you don't wanna ask, just say, I'm gonna work in with you, cool? And they're gonna be like, yeah, of course. That's a very, very, very common thing. I remember pre-COVID, that almost every morning I would have to work in with people on various pieces of equipment because it used to just be so crowded. So that's the lingo. How many sets do you have? Can I work in with you? Cool, awesome. You can just leave it at that if you want. The next tip is a general one for anyone getting started. Now it can be intimidating to see people lifting really heavy amounts of weight when you're just getting started. And I used to, in the first few years, really think that however heavy I was lifting was like a direct correlation to my fitness level. It's really not. The most important thing is that you work on proper form. So I don't care how heavy you're lifting in the gym, just try to have proper form. If you need to lower the weights to have good form, do it. It says nothing about how fit you are, how heavy you're lifting. So just prioritize your form and practicing that over any type of numbers. And that is also gonna help you feel confident and more safe performing the exercises that you're learning. My next hack or tip is when I first started, I wasn't comfortable in the weight section, like the free weight section, because it was like 12 big men at 5 a.m. lifting around me. Things have shifted over the past decade, so there's more women in the weight section, thank goodness. But if you're still uncomfortable in that area of the gym, grab a pair of dumbbells and promptly take them to a quiet corner in the gym. I used to take them into the studio room or just like a literal corner. Usually there's mirrors in all of the corners of the gym, so you can just post up next to a mirror and a bench, and you can just do your workout in the privacy of your corner. And that helped me build a lot of confidence early on because I felt like there were less people looking at me and I didn't have to look at them. I was just like, okay, I'm here, I'm at least in the environment, I'm doing my best, and I'm going to have more privacy over here. So that is a huge tip if you're nervous about lifting in front of other people, especially in the free weight section. Okay, the final tip is for my fellow petite women. This is if you cannot reach something in the gym, which literally happens all the time. The cable machines sometimes are too high. I mean, most of the equipment doesn't scale down below, a woman who's 5'4" and shorter. And that's why a lot of machines aren't that effective to use for us. Some are, some aren't. It takes some time, but with time, you will get used to the fact that you might have to go grab a box jump, one of those like platforms, and put it underneath the bar and step up on it. People will probably say things. It's honestly a conversation starter for men. It's just something that people might say, oh, that's funny, like you have to use that, or like I see you, like, and you can just handle that however you want. Ha, yeah, cool, now I'm gonna go do 10 pull-ups. Something I do in the cable area, if it is a super tall cable area, I stack plates to reach something. Nowadays, I'll literally just ask someone, hey, can you help me for a sec? Like, can you move that? Or like, and people will do it and they like being useful. People like being helpful. So don't be ashamed, and you have no reason to. If you ever find something you can't reach, maybe it'll take some confidence to work up how you're gonna get to it, but don't let that stop you from working on yourself and making the strongest, healthiest version of yourself over time. I hope that you guys enjoyed this kind of refresher and you feel like you have some new tools for re-entering the gym and feeling confident about what you're doing. Let me know which of these tips was super useful for you below. I'm just curious what you found the most helpful. And if you guys have any tips for, of your own, let me know in the comments. Let's create like a kind of a list of things that we can help each other with. And if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe for more content, fitness, nutrition, women's health. It's all tailored to petite women most of the time, so women 5'4" and shorter. And the reason why is we have slightly slower metabolism, so we are all about improving your metabolism, increasing it through strength training and nutrition. So I hope that you guys found this video really useful, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.